going to make a small, maybe a multi-part build video of a little 3-inch I'm going to build, and I'm going to build it based off of the iFlight frame here for the IH3. And I got the frame put together. I've also purchased 4 of the engines like this, and these are the 3600 kV 1407s. We'll see how they are. I've also purchased the 20 millimeter Mamba stack, the flight controller board, and also the power control board and the ESCs. I've also got a mini VTX board that I've got here. I'm going to be using that. And I'm also going to be using the Kydex Turtle version 2 and see how that goes, and kind of go from there. I've got everything set up. First of all, what I'm going to do is be installing the power connector. I've actually put a cap on the battery leads. So I'm going to be installing that and also wiring up the ESCs. Okay, I've got the Mamba PCB board power cable connected. I connected actually under the board, and I got my ESCs connected to the motors. And the next step I'm going to do is go ahead and put the Mamba flight controller on and go from there. Okay, I've installed the Mamba flight control board, and I also went ahead and put the VTX board and the Kydex Turtle version 2 board on just to see how they fit. And I had to do a lot of adjusting to know where to place things. I've already put a FlySky XM Plus receiver in and connected it to the flight controller, and I've also tinned the other pads that I'm going to be using to connect my VTX and the Turtle version 2 board up. The only problem I've really ran into is the Turtle version 2 board. It really doesn't fit that well. No matter what scenario I put on like this, you've got the holes too close to either a connector or a resistor pad or a capacitor pad, something where a normal 2 millimeter screw won't fit. They did include, I think I've only saw 3 smaller 2 millimeter screws to put on, or bolts to put on, and I think that'll work. It's going to be kind of trial and error. The next step is to go ahead and connect my power up and check for any shorts, and do some configuration as far as my motors, and try to get everything running and configured before I ever start putting my camera and VTX in. Continue with the build. I did get the VTX board installed. It's connected to the flight controller from the video out to the VTX. I've also got my smart audio connector to the VTX board, to the flight controller board. And I'm powering this board actually from the battery connectors on the power distribution board, because this Mamba stack does have one VCC pin, and I want to use it for my Kydex Turtle version 2 system. And this pin is so small here, it'll be a little bit too busy for too many connectors there. I've also powered it up using an adapter and a smoke stopper to make sure that everything was good. So everything's been powered up. The motors are working. Did a calibration of the ESCs and also reversed the engine so they're coming in. So I've got everything set up. The next step now is to place the Kydex turtle system in, and it's a little tight fit here. As the if you'll notice where you put the mounts on for this board, that the fiber nuts, if you use fiber nuts or regular M2 fiber nuts, they're really too big. You have to get the small ones that come with a pack, and luckily I think it'll fit. I did some you know, placements, and I think I know where everything goes, so I think it should be okay. So the next step is to put that system in, and I'll come back when that's in. My Kydex Turtle version 2 camera system in, and it was a bear to put in. The hardware that comes with it is okay, and I adapted it, but as you can see, the board's a little bit bigger than other 20mm boards, and it's got components right around the mount holes, and it's just not a good board to mount. It just really not, and it took me quite a few hours to figure out exactly how I was going to mount it and put everything in, and but I got it in, and I've got my SIM card in, my storage card in, everything's working there. Did my smoke test, and everything worked fine, nothing was shorted. I got my camera mounted. I'm going to put the top on there and lock it up right now. And I was actually able to, with the test, I was actually able to bring the video up and configure the board some, and so I'll probably have another video of doing any changes if I'm going to do that in the future. And I'm just going to go ahead and put the top on, put the battery on, mount the antennas the way I wanted to mount the antennas, and then I'll show you the finished product. I think I finished up here. I've got my top mounting bracket on the frame. I got some unskid plastic for my battery, or rubber for my battery. The camera's on. Again, I've checked the everything on my screen here, and the OSD's configured. I got my props on. For those who care, I can weigh this. I don't really care, but some of you may care. And let's see here. This is going to be 172 grams, so that's pretty doggone good. And I got a 850 milliamp 3-cell battery here. You put that on, and we're going to go up to let's see, 250.9. Also got 2 battery straps on there. One just didn't fit quite right, and we'll go for a test hover and see if everything works.